A few months ago, I was talking with a business coach who was telling me, Lisa, I'm doing all the things. I'm showing up on the socials. I'm sending my emails. I'm having calls. I'm just doing all the stuff when it comes to marketing, and I'm not seeing progress. And it's exhausting. Like, I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. Does this sound familiar? Because this is a common situation to be in. And really, what I'm getting at is this feeling of the fatigue of doing marketing, especially when you're not seeing results from marketing. And that's what I want to discuss today because this is the stuff that is behind marketing. Because we can have the best strategies, we can have the best tools, we can have all the greatest assets and everything like that. But if we're not addressing the stuff that's behind all of that, what's going in our head and in our hearts, then that's where marketing can fall flat. So today is about talking this marketing fatigue, this hidden burnout in marketing, and what it can be otherwise called the engagement exhaustion loop. So I'm going to talk about some signs of that burnout that you may recognize, the cost of being in that place, and then what to do about it. So please join me for this video. And before we get into it, I'll just quickly introduce myself. I'm Lisa. I'm a messaging specialist. I'm a marketing strategist, and I'm a business advisor. And I work with service-based businesses, primarily coaches, consultants, and creative professionals to help them win with their words wherever they're showing up online and in real life. And more importantly, to create simple, sustainable systems around marketing their business so they can have more time and enjoyment with all of that stuff. All right, so this exhaustion loop, this engagement exhaustion loop, there's a few things why this is happening. And so again, if you recognize yourself in any part of this, then hopefully I'm going to give you some clarity with that and then some next steps to take about it. So first off is that you may be measuring your success by engagement instead of actual results. And by this, I mean you are evaluating how effective you're being with your marketing based on likes, follows, subscribes, those kind of metrics, which yes, those are important to some degree, but let me ask you this. Have you ever engaged with content, watched a video, read an article, read a post, and never responded and never let that person know that you read it, watched it, enjoyed it, learned from it? Yeah, of course you have. We all do that, right? And yet that doesn't mean when the tables are turned and it's our stuff and we're wondering like, well, nobody's engaging with our stuff, then why are we so quick to assume that it's not valuable? And the slippery slope with that is that if we attach the value or the validity or the effectiveness of that content to the likes, subscribes, follows, it's very easy for that to slide into our own self-worth. So we need to be really careful about that. Then this also happens when you feel a pressure to be everywhere. So for a long time, for many years, there's been kind of a prevailing thought that around omnipresent marketing, meaning you need to show up across all the channels. And of course, as time goes on, there's just more and more and more platforms that you could be in, lots of more spaces where people are congregating. And as a service-based business who primarily is focused on like, I want, a handful of awesome clients to work with. I don't need like hundreds nor thousands of people. Trying to be everywhere all the time is not only exhausting, but not necessary. If you happen to be running a business where you need a high volume of people because you have a low ticket offer, this is true for businesses that are centered around memberships or courses or digital products, things like that, then yeah, you do need to show up in a lot of places because you're always needing lots of eyeballs, lots of people coming into your audience. There's just a lot more turnover with customers and all of that kind of stuff. But by and large, if you're watching this, I'm guessing that you're in the service provider side of things, and that's all the people that I work with, which you don't need it. You're running a low volume, high ticket type business. So you don't need to be everywhere, first of all. So that's good news, right? You don't need to be everywhere. And it's impossible to sustain that, with our types of businesses. And then the third reason why this is happening is because you are in a start-stop cycle with your marketing, meaning you do enough marketing to kind of get business going, and then you're happy to be done with it because you're like, that was exhausting. I had to do all this stuff and it barely worked, but I got some clients and projects and now I don't want to do it anymore. And that is what I call herchy-lurchy marketing. And there's a lot of problems with the stop-start cycle with marketing, with herchy-lurchy marketing, primarily because it causes herchy-lurchy cash flow. So we definitely don't want that in any business. And what I want you to recognize that's tied to this herchy-lurchy issue is one of the 3 hidden timelines in your business, which I have discussed in previous contents, and I'll share a link to where you can read about all 3 of the hidden timelines, but the one that's tied to the herchy-lurchy is the marketing timeline. And what happens is marketing takes some time to get going. Imagine it is like a flywheel that needs to get spun up. And so it could be that you are in the early stages of that marketing timeline. For new businesses just starting marketing, it takes about 6 months for real, tangible, like high quality clients and projects to come through. For businesses that have been maybe in that stop start and you've got some assets, you kind of done marketing before, you know what to do, it's going to take around 3 to 4 months on average, right? This is based on decades of being in marketing and working with lots and lots of people and seeing this as a thing. So anyway, I've got a link there. You can check out more about the hidden timeline in your business around marketing. Okay, so that's the reason why it could be happening, why you're feeling exhaustion. The other thing I wanted to have you understand too is where your exhaustion is coming from. Is it because you are literally trying to do all the things and you don't have help in your business to do all the things when it comes to all the marketing stuff? Or is the exhaustion because you're tired of just talking about the same stuff over and over? Because that's a different type of exhaustion. Here you are worried that, you are wearing out the ears of your audience when in fact you're actually just worn out yourself, and they're not. You will always become more tired of hearing yourself talk about the same stuff, your work over and over, than your audience will. So just understanding the distinction about where that exhaustion comes from. Okay, so let's talk about the costs of being in this engagement exhaustion loop, right? It's just like, we got to get off that hamster wheel. Well, first of all, because if you stay stuck, all that work that you did to connect with new people and create leads and nurture the audience and stuff, you end up losing it, right? This is one of the other problems with herchy-lurchy marketing. So we definitely don't want that to happen, right? It can be a lot. It's a lot of effort to make those connections and nurture people and stuff. You don't want to lose that. Of course, out of that is the loss of potential clients. And that ties back into that marketing timeline and how long it really does take for things to get spun up. And marketing then becomes like not fun at all. And we do not want to be in a place where we look at marketing as a separate job that can get axed. It's like, imagine marketing is like somebody on your team and you're like, I am done with you, team member. You're not performing, so I'm just going to axe you. That's actually cutting off a vital component of your business. Every business needs marketing, so we don't want to do that. And then going back to sort of the mental emotional piece of all of this is it causes you to doubt yourself, right? Like now you're starting to think like, well, what is wrong with me and my stuff? And maybe I'm just not cut out for this. Maybe this is not meant to be. And that can be a really terrible downward cycle or spiral to be in. Okay. So to move out of this engagement exhaustion loop, here are some things. I've got basically 5 things to think about how you can move yourself out of that. First of all, pick one platform and just own it. Just be on that platform. So if you have an email list going, I highly am a huge proponent of email marketing. Stay with your email list. Don't worry about all the other places. If you're really active on LinkedIn and that's your place, just work it, right? But don't worry about anything else, at least for a period of time till you can get that momentum going and feel like you can put some systems and make that sustainable, okay? The second thing is to shift your thinking from engagement-based marketing to relationship-based marketing. So really like putting the emphasis on how deep can I go versus broad. This for service providers, who are looking to work with like, a finite set of like really awesome clients. We don't need hundreds and thousands of people. So you really want to focus on the relationships that you are building one by one. Yes, it can be a little bit slower process. It's more organic. And there are also ways to put some automation and tools in place to leverage your time around that. And if you want more information about how to do that, how I'm doing that in my business and helping clients do that in their businesses, then just DM me and let me know. Okay. We also want to just focus on, just from a strategy standpoint, just going simple. So I'm all about simplifying the strategy. And instead of hopping from one thing to the next, it's like I'm going to do some posts and I'm going to send out an email and then maybe I'll do a video, all these different things. When you're in this place of exhaustion with your marketing, you just want to narrow it back down to the things that really matter. And we want to do what I call strategy layering. So we don't want to be strategy switching, hopping from thing to thing to thing. We want to be layering on top. And you don't add your next layer until you've got the base, the layer underneath solid. Now for service-based businesses, your layer one is going to be your direct outreach and follow-up. And interestingly, or ironically enough, that's the one that most people try to avoid doing. They would much rather spend all their time and energy posting and doing all that stuff and just, oh God, anything but trying to reach out to people, especially strangers. But that is always going to be your fastest, closest path to the clients. So that's your layer one. And then anything else on top of that is a separate layers that you add on. I talk more about this in other videos and other content. The fourth thing is to give it time, right? Because going back to that idea of the hidden timeline, marketing being one of those 3 hidden timelines in your business, you may be in an early stage on your timeline. And if let's say you're new to marketing, new to business in general, you haven't had a lot of practice, you don't have a lot of assets in play, then maybe you're in month 3 or 4 of your marketing when really we know it's going to take probably about 6 months or more. Okay. So there's all kinds of factors involved in the timeline. And again, check out the link where you can read up more on that. Okay. And then the last thing to do here is to count your wins, because if you are showing up and posting and sending emails and doing all those things, congratulations, because it does take work to do that. And you have gotten over some fear of visibility and rejection and all of that kind of stuff that stops so many people from publishing anything in the first place, from putting anything in front of anybody in the first place. So give yourself some grace and count your wins in that department. Okay, so I really want to help you just move past that burnout phase, because burnout in any way, shape, or form is not good, right? So bring yourself into a place of calm and rest around this. Hopefully these tips have helped you. And if you want further help from me on that, please DM me. I am all about helping service-based providers find that simplification and sustainability with their marketing efforts and resonance with their messaging, which is it all plays hand in hand. Okay. Also, just let me know in the comments what you think about this. Have you experienced burnout? Do you have other tips, things that you've done that have helped move yourself out of this place? I'd love to hear it. Okay. I'll see you soon in the next video. Bye-bye.